Good afternoon, everybody. It's currently April 16th. It's in the mid 40s. It's cloudy. It's windy. It's been a roller coaster of weather this week. At the beginning of the week, there was snow. And then a few days later, it was in the 70s, and it was so nice that I was able to bring my seedlings out for the day. And now it's right back down into the mid 40s, but the rest of this week coming up, it's going to be in the 60s, so I'll be sure to take out my seedlings for the rest of the week. But let's check in on these plants. The little mini daffodils and the hyacinths over here are doing all right. I don't really check on these guys that much, but I'm gonna come back and straighten out those hyacinths over there. The daffodils, those daffodils, some little new daffodils. Let's check out the iris over here and the tiger lily. They're doing all right. I almost forgot that there's a little tiger lily right there too. But then I saw someone on Facebook was giving away daffodils that they dug up. So I kind of jumped on it and got some. And ideally you don't want to dig them up when they're blooming like this. You want to wait until the leaves have turned brown and died back, and then you're supposed to dig them up and transplant them for the fall. So I'm just gonna leave them like this and kind of nurse them the next few weeks until they start dying back, and then I'll separate them and store them and plant them in the fall. So that's gonna be my plan for those ones. And I kind of unintentionally am making yellow daffodils here and the white daffodils over here. Let's check in. There's another little, that's a Caesar's brother iris right there. There's another one right there. All these guys. And I believe this tree right here is a lilac. The mugwort. Now the mugwort is highly invasive and it will spread like crazy. So I've been coming out the past few days and kind of just plucking up as much as I can to try and keep it contained like this. In the summer, I like to keep it trimmed like a hedge or a bush so it doesn't go to seed. But yeah, that's the mugwort. Moving on over to these guys. I did a lot of weeding along this border here this past week. Moving on to the tiger lilies over here. They're looking all right. These tulips, the yellow tulips, I give it another week or so and those will be blooming. I don't think these ones will bloom this year. These purple ones, we can check, maybe next year these will bloom. All the violets are popping. Then you can really start to see the red coming through on these tulips. Yeah, in another week or so, these guys should be in full bloom. Last year at this time they were blooming, so these guys are getting real close. The columbine down here, you can see like how it shoots up the flowers right here. Like that, and then they open up. Cardinal plant. This is a purple tulip right here. Check it out. These iris over here. Make sure that's okay. Tiger lily. Tulip. And then I did fix this border along here this past week too. And as you can tell, the violets are really popping through this week. Iris is over here. That's what that looks like. You see this. And then check out all the violets popping. There's a tulip right there. These tiger lilies are getting quite big here. Got the tulips over here. This pink one's actually starting to send his flower head up. And this purple one over here, it's actually kind of cool because you could see the flower head starting to develop inside of it. Try to hold still. And that will turn into that. That's pretty cool. The roses looking pretty cool. No buds on it. It's getting kind of crowded. And what's going to happen is a lot of these are going to just shoot off to try to get like outcompete one another. So this rose is going to grow really quick, really fast. The hyacinths, you can tell that they're starting to die off a little bit. These will just drop down and I'll just deadhead them. And these hyacinths over here, the weather was kind of bad the other night and kind of knocked a few of these over. So I just propped them up with a stick. And now I'm just going to remove the stick and see. Yep, now it's supporting itself. Yep, so that one should be all set. And let's check out the Gladys is over here. I don't see anything shooting up. I don't really expect anything for a few weeks from these guys. And because I planted Gladys over here, I had to clean up this side of the garage. And I'm going to show you basically how it started and what I've been doing for the past week. Alright, so this is how it looks currently. And all that I have left is I have a couple of things for the trash. Burn this wood, get rid of these tires, and now I have this whole area here to kind of use and plant stuff with. So that's been what I've been working on the past week. And I've been getting the wood and materials from this to use for my trellis and garden beds. So I decided just to include the backyard garden in these videos instead of making a separate video for the backyard garden. I figured it'd just be easier to do it in one video. But I just kind of placed out what I'm looking to do here, and this frame here is going to be standing up like this, and these are going to be kind of like a support, like a square, and it's going to work off that fence right there, so vining plants can come up and over onto this trellis here. And then I'm going to have a garden bed here, a garden bed there, and a garden bed in the middle here. So it's been kind of too cold to start setting this up, but in the next week or two I plan on starting to dig out the beds here and setting up the trellis. But before I do that, I want to clear out a lot of these trees, well, a lot of the branches off first, so I could get more sunlight. The sunlight's pretty good back here, but it doesn't hurt to add more. And I've been starting a leaf pile, there's a dirt pile, and a compost pile. And one thing is, I've been picking up some coffee grounds from Starbucks, and check with your local Starbucks, because your Starbucks may or may not be giving out coffee grounds, and they're free and you could use them for your garden. And I'm going to put up a picture of this so you can read it on the screen, but I'm going to start doing a little compost pile. And I got some apple slices and tea bags and stuff in here, and I'm just going to mix it in here with some water and some of this coffee grounds, and I'm going to start a little compost pile. Now it's time to check on my seedlings. So here are some pansies, and you could definitely tell that they're getting, I think it's on their fourth set of leaves already. Their third or fourth set. The hosta, I believe the hosta is getting some color, some white on it. Hopefully. The daylilies are getting quite big. They're actually starting to work on their fourth set of leaves too. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. So they're pretty much about ready to go outside. And the pansies over here, they're definitely getting their distinct shapes to the leaves. Here are the petunias. Now these, I believe, are cardinal plants. The cardinal seeds are extremely tiny, so I believe they're cardinals plants. If they are, they're going to be extremely slow growing. If not, I really don't know what I'm growing there, but I'm hoping they're cardinal plants. And then these guys right here are the scarlet sages. And there's something quite interesting about the scarlet sage. I'll explain in a second. When some plants grow, the fresh growth is red, and you can see that a lot in the rose plant. And a good example of that is on the scarlet sage here. The scarlet sage is actually pinkish here, so the fresh growth is on a pinkish stem right there. So that's actually where it's growing. And it's actually just pushing up from the ground. You could see it right there. And you can actually see the different sets of leaves that the scarlet sage is actually producing right now. But yep, that's a good example of the fresh growth on plants. Now, not every single plant is like that. Only certain plants, because you could see with like the daylily, there's no red on it. There's no red on these pansies, and no red on these morning glories. So it's only certain plants, and if you see red on it, that's what it is. And don't be scared if you see red. But these morning glories, you could see that they're growing too. They're getting quite big. All these plants benefited from the sunlight that they had from the other day. Here's the other morning glories. They're getting quite big. These guys right here are some daylilies. Just extra seeds that have sprouted up. Here's some of the morning glories. You can see that they're starting to grow their second set of leaves right there in the middle. So those are growing. They'll be out soon. And then I have about 40 cosmos, and I took these guys outside too, and some of them kind of took the wind a little hard, but they're starting to recover. And you can see the cosmos are extremely fast growing, because last week they were small, and this week they're already starting to grow their second set of leaves. But that's about it for this week, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Here's a bonus clip of my orchid plant here, and it's looking pretty good. And I noticed the other day that it's actually starting to grow more up here, and I ran out of clips, so I took a pipe cleaner and just kind of tied it up there, and there's a couple little more buds already starting to form on it. So yep, have a good day, everybody.